No, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home. It's been a long night here and a long night there, and these long, long legs.
And we are back. Well, we are in our last segment. This show is like flying by.
I know, it's been 45 minutes already.
You know, this next gentleman weaned in from London just to be with us today. Steve Rozenberg.
You did that for us.
Well, I did, but I also had to do it anyways. It was going to happen.
No, don't go there. No.
It was just for you. Yes, it was just
Thank
for
you,
you.
man.
Yes.
You already blew it. So, and you're with Empire Industries. We'll talk about what Empire Industries does.
Sure. So Empire Industries, we are a property management company. We manage about 500 houses here in Houston, all throughout the greater Houston area. And our rise to the top is a little different than most people or most people's story. I actually never wanted to get into real estate. I didn't know anything about real estate. I'm an airline pilot, and I started off as an airline pilot.
And you're still an airline
pilot.
And
I'm still an airline pilot. But we had, as everyone knows, 9/11 happened.
I remember
that.
It was in all the papers.
Yes. It was on the news a couple times. And that day was obviously a little bit more dramatic for me, being an airline pilot. And what happened was you started seeing everyone's retirements, pensions, everything just basically getting wiped away. And when you're so specialized as an airline pilot or anything you do, when that job dissolves, all of a sudden you have to realize that you really are not qualified to do anything else except fly a big plane around in the sky. And so I started realizing I need to focus on something else if this airline thing didn't pan out like I thought it. The safe, secure job that I thought existed no longer existed. So I started learning and realizing real estate was going to be a good avenue for me. So I started buying some houses, bought some apartment buildings, lost a lot of money, got my butt kicked up and down by some valuable lessons.
But you never forget those lessons.
You know what? Those lessons are what me and my business partners say actually made us as successful as we are today. So we started managing our properties. We had about 20 properties that we owned, and we realized we had a big problem because we weren't doing it the way we should. So guess what we did?
Learn how to do it the right way.
No, we bought another 5 houses, just to put a little bit more sting in our wound there. And
so if you do it wrong well.
yeah, we got to go more into the hill, basically. So basically, we sat down and created the structure as investors to create our business model, just to manage our portfolio. That worked. They started making money. And we had other investors locally approach us and ask us if we could manage their properties the same ideology and mindset that we were managing ours in. And that's what really, about 3.5 years ago, we started doing that as a business. We proverbial burned our boats. My business partner quit his job. He was all in. Pete, as you know, the president of NARPM.
Pete Newbig, right?
Yep, Pete Newbig. And we have grown from that point to about 500 properties. And they're all hard fought. It's like you said, it's all marketing. We're very, very good at marketing. We have one of the best agent referral programs in the city. It's actually, we made more agents more money in Houston that we actually won a national award for best marketing in North America because of our return on our marketing dollars.
Expand on that. What do you do?
Sure. So basically what we do is we came up by not being involved in the industry. We didn't realize that there was this oil and vinegar relationship between agents and property managers. Because once they hand it over to the property manager, they take the client and they never give it back. So me and my business partner were kind of sitting there thinking about this, and we're basically talking to a lot of these agents, and they were kind of spitting on us. They didn't like us, and we didn't know why, because we were just investors really learning this as property managers. And so we basically came to the conclusion that if we gave you this house back, would you like us then? And they said, absolutely. And we said, how about if we gave you a monthly referral fee every month for a full year on the property that you hand us? So now you're making mailbox money on this deal. You get the deal back. And so basically what we did is we turned all these agents into salespeople for us. And they go out, and so I teach MCE classes, and I do lunch and learns, and we speak about our company. And basically we explain to these agents that now, especially nowadays, where you have properties that can't sell, where you have a client that can't move a house, but they have another house on contingency, all of a sudden they're going, hey, wait a second, have you ever thought of renting that house? Because now they just basically double down, and now they have a property that they help that client buy, and they also help that client make income on the other property. Yeah. And they got the sale down the road too.
So you're now the hero.
So now we're the hero, exactly.
Yeah. Well, exactly. There's a relationship ended up that way a lot of times because the agents, wanted to manage that for their clients themselves. And,
Yes.
And in 2008, I always called the accidental manager. It's like they bought the house,
Yep.
market turned down, they lost their job, the buyer, and they had to move out of the city, but they were upside down and couldn't sell their house. And they go back to their agent and go, would you manage it for me?
Yep.
And of course, we're always like, we're the kind of people who like, come over, have barbecue at our house. Let's raise your kids for you. We
Yep.
always want to be the helpful
Sure.
person, right? And so they start managing, and they were all doing it wrong.
Absolutely.
Number one complaint at Trek is about leasing and management.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so we've actually, in our company, have said, you're not allowed to do management. We lost a couple agents, and they went to another company, but I'm sure that company isn't going to tell them the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't do property management.
The liability is huge, and we've learned that by us focusing on just that, we don't do anything else. We don't flip, we don't wholesale, we just manage the owner's asset. So what happens is we've become the experts in managing their
Absolutely.
assets, and so we're a team with the real estate agent that, look, you sell the property, you can lease the property, you can do whatever you want to do. With 500 properties, we have a 1% eviction rate on our properties. We're very,
Wow.
very good because
That's excellent.
that's our focus point. So we tell the agents, if you want to lease the property, you can lease it. It's your client. We get it. We want to do the background check because we know the person going in, because we want the end result for the agent and the owner to be a good one, because we know two things will happen. Number one, chances of them buying another investment property, if it goes well, will happen. And number two, they're going to refer people to us. And we know the acquisition cost of getting a secondary client and the agent, it's going to be through the agent also. So they've just doubled down again. So it's win-win for everybody.
If you make the agents look good, they'll
Absolutely,
come back to you.
absolutely. And
they don't need to be doing property management.
No, and we're the highest rated on the Google. We have about 165 5-star reviews. I don't have that many friends or family.
Mike
that
Minden
can
out there,
like me,
Tierra, you better take note that he's beating you. So
yes,
Well, I had the pleasure to speak at the National Association of Residential Property
Yes.
Managers NARPM meeting yesterday. I've recently joined and became a member and a sponsor, and their luncheon was this past Thursday. It's a great group, and it was James Alderson from
Yep.
San Antonio
Yep.
was the
Pros,
guest speaker. And, that group is really focused on learning. There's a lot of agents there learning how to do it right and learning how to do it in compliance. They talk about, all the rules and regulations and
it's
tricks
the
of the trade.
professionalism, the ethics. They're very good at sharing and helping each other out. It's a great organization. And
It
my
is.
business partner and I, we have learned a lot, and we've learned to, we actually go to the bigger fish, if you will, in the world. Pete and I have actually traveled to South Carolina. We've traveled to San Antonio to talk to bigger companies to say, how do you guys grow? How did you grow? And we emulated a lot of these companies. And we feel that's why we have grown. We've doubled revenue every single year in our company.
That's
we're
awesome.
we're the number one, like I said, the number one referral.
You want to sell?
Not yet. We're starting the franchise business model as
Okay.
well. So we are looking at duplikating our businance modle.
Well, that's the way to grow.
It's
That's
a
how you
good
grow.
thing. I had a takeaway from your meeting yesterday, Thursday, as a matter of fact, was what it was phrased was a rental house is not an asset. The tenant is the asset.
Mm-hmm.
The rental house is a money pit without a tenant. And
Good
so
point.
you guys in the property management business, because when I heard that, it really clicked to me. I said, yeah, that's right. The tenant, the income stream is the asset, not the brick and mortar. It's the tenant. And
Yeah.
you guys are all about acquiring the tenant and maintaining the tenant. And like you said, a 1% eviction rate. I mean, that's
Yeah.
solid gold.
That
Well,
is
and
solid
the
gold.
thing is, what we've learned is, I always tell owners, just because you have the financial means to buy an investment property doesn't mean you have the financial education to run that business. So you own the shell, which is the house. We are putting our business model in that shell to make you have a profit. We're running it like a business. We're basically keeping you out of liability of being sued, because they are the highest sued in real estate, because they don't run it like a business. They don't have policies, procedures. They don't know about fair housing, discrimination laws. They just go off of a whim or their gut feeling. And it's like, that doesn't work when you're standing in front of the judge saying, well, I wasn't sure, so I just I thought he'd be okay without a
Yeah.
roof for a week, and so they don't realize that.
Yeah. They always say, how much time do you have to give for a repair? And the answer is, it depends.
Yeah.
What the repair is. And
Yep,
of course, we talked
exactly.
about
Higher
home
and-
warranties a while ago, but AC, if they're out and there's
Texas
small
property
children,
code.
you got to get out there and get that thing fixed
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
And most owners don't understand that.
No, and we have a lot of out-of-state and out-of-country investors. When I travel, I speak to a lot of investing groups out of state and out of country. I'm actually going to Australia this summer to speak in New Zealand and Brisbane on Houston and our property management business. But what we've learned is, they don't know what these laws are. All they're looking at is an investment vehicle to buy an investment property to give them a return. Our job is to try to get them as close to that return as they can, but also make sure that they are running a business model and set the proper expectations. Like we were talking earlier, you set those expectations in the beginning to say, look, you are running a business. You're going to have profit. You're going to have loss. You're going to have a lot of things. Our job is to make you successful. Whether you like it or not, we're going to comply with.
Even though I've done property management in the past, I did commercial property management back in the 80s, had a little company. But if I were buying stuff, I'd put it with professional. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody who's
It's like flying a plane. You could get yourself there if you want, or you could buy a ticket.
I think I'm going to buy a ticket because I'm
Yes.
not going to, because you fly those big, that 757.
787.
787.
Yeah, 787.
Yep.
That's a Dreamliner.
One of the great motivational stories I ever heard was when you're talking about goal setting, and is it mandatory? I mean, when you set a goal, do you have to meet it, or is it just sort of? And
It's a suggestion.
Yeah,
right?
they use the pilot as an example. But if the pilot's goal is to fly this plane and land it safely, is it just we're going to hope to? Yeah. So he's going to. We hope he meets that goal.
Would you like to get to Hawaii, or would you like to kind of get somewhere?
Or would
around
you like
that
to get
area
close
in
to
the
Hawaii?
Yeah,
vicinity
and so that
of
was
the
another
water?
great takeaway: is to
That's
be
a
the
good goal.
pilot, make your goal just like the pilot's goal,
Yeah.
and land that.
A
thing.
great analogy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They should all equal. The takeoff should equal the landings.
Right.
That's a good goal to have,
Well,
right?
the other one is, if any landing that you walk away from is a good one.
That's another good one. That's another good one.
Well, I actually prefer to get on the tarmac, safely and quietly and with
Yep.
a lot of fanfare and things
Yep.
like that.
We're coming
So-
up against the end. But Steve, did you learn to fly in the military? Where
No,
did you-
all civilian. I grew up in
All
Los Angeles and learned to fly all civilian in Los Angeles.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And how long you been flying?
I've been with, it was Continental at the time, got hired in 98, and I was with TWA before that.
Oh, remember
You haven't
TWA?
heard
They
that
just
name in a while.
they just have that hotel they redid in I guess it's New York.
Yeah.
No Air Cal back in the day?
No,
Flying up and down
no,
the coast. That was a pretty.
no.
I
Yeah,
had an
that
uncle who
was
had
good,
a great
yeah.
job. He flew from Anaheim up to San Jose and back.
Yep.
And I mean, it just
Yeah, that was a
watching
good
the
airline.
sunrise, watching the sunset. That was his job.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, we got people out there listening. What would you like to leave them with today?
Well, if they want to give us a call, we will give them a free month management fee if they want to try us out. Agents, like I said, we have a great referral program for them. Works very, very well. If they want to give us a call at 888-866-6727 or EmpireIndustriesLLC.com.
And that's Steve Rozenberg with Empire Industries. And I thank all of our guests today. And until next week, and I won't be here next week, so you're going to have to carry on without me.
Okie dokie. We're
See
out.
you next time.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The Real Estate Rat Pack is ready to answer your toughest questions. So tune in to the really big show every Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Word,